Hi and good afternoon, everyone. I'm really glad that at a tech summit we have so many people here for a detox talk, which is really very, very encouraging. Now, I'm going to start by actually sharing a little bit of my tech journey with you, right from the 70s, which is when I was growing up. Now, what happened in the 70s was that me and my family, were some of the most important people in the neighborhood. Not because we were rich or special or spectacular in any way, but because we had something nobody else did. We had this, a landline. And everybody wanted to be friends with us because they wanted to use this landline. So that's what the 70s looked like. And then the 80s came. It was, a flashier, more colorful decade. The color TV, the CD player, the Walkman, and also the ultimate showing off device, the cordless. People stood in their balconies to talk on their cordless just so that the other people could see they had one. It was fun. And then the pager. In the 90s, when I started my career as a production person in a British television company, they weren't paying me a lot of money. And it really did not matter because they gave me this perk of a pager, which made me feel so cool and so important, I didn't think I needed that extra money. And from there on was the next shiny goodie we got our way. If you were a professional who had arrived, if you were someone who was upwardly mobile, if you had someone, if you were someone with great competence, this is what had to be your companion, the BlackBerry, or the Crackberry as we called it back then. We were actually hooked. Messaging, rudimentary little games like Snake and Solitaire, but we were completely sold out on this device. And it was fantastic. But little did we know that what was waiting for us right round the bend was the tech tsunami. We weren't expecting it. The smartphone. It was a revolution, really. It wasn't just a device. And here's why I say that. Because the smartphone actually changed the way all of us behaved as people, how we communicated, how we interacted with one another, how we even felt. It changed the way our brains are wired, literally. And if you think about it, there is no other invention of technology which has had such a profound and mass impact on the psychology of human beings as the smartphone. Now, so much so, and this is a fact, you can actually talk to young people about it. You ask someone from the young tech, our smartphone generation, would you give up your phone or a finger? And they will be happier giving up a little finger than they will giving up their phone. So, WHO has actually decided to declare tech addiction, especially gaming addiction, as a proper mental health disorder. And countries like Korea, South Korea and China now have hundreds and hundreds of boot camps and de-addiction centers for people because they have recognized this is a mental health disorder. It's gone out of control. So next is a new term that's been devised, which all of you might be familiar with, called nomophobia. We're going to just see how this looks for a second. Do you all have phones with you over here? Yeah? Okay. Could you just take your phone out in your hands? Excellent. Can you just give it to the person on your left or right? Don't worry, you'll get it back. Pass it, please. Just hand it over. Close your eyes just for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Open. Okay, you can have your phones back if you want, but I want you to genuinely think. Did you experience even a flashing moment of panic when I asked you to give your phone? You did. Anyone else? Had I not said you're getting it back in a second or two, would you be panicky? You would. Well, that is exactly what nomophobia looks like. 66% of smartphone users actually suffer from nomophobia. It's separation anxiety from our phone. We start to panic at the thought that our phone will be taken away or that we'll lose it. We keep checking, is our phone with us? Have we lost it? Did we leave it somewhere? So that's actually what's happening there. Now, what is it about smartphones that make them so addictive, so terribly irresistible? Is it just the hardware, the device that we get hooked onto? I don't think so. It's what it comes loaded with. The games, the internet, the social media. That's what really pulls us in. That's what gets us hooked. And there's a science to this. Now, companies don't do this by coincidence. You're not coincidentally hooked to your phone. You're hooked because it's been done by design. They are spending millions and millions of dollars getting behavioral experts, getting people that they call attention engineers, who are sitting and working very hard to see what are the principles they can employ to get us more and more addicted. They're employing principles from the gambling industry to get us more addicted to these devices. So naturally, there's a physiological, mental, chemical reaction that's happening in our brain because of it, because it's devised to be like that. There's unpredictability and rewards, which is exactly the equation that is required to make something addictive. You put a post on social media, there's a reward, there's a like, there's a heart, somebody shares it, you feel really good. That's your reward. There's unpredictability. You don't know how well it's going to do, so next time you're going to try and outdo this one and garner more likes, more hearts, more popularity from it. Now, while all this is happening, I want you to consider this. Every single time you're getting a message, an alert, an email, anything on your device, your brain is literally having a 400% surge in dopamine, which is a feel-good neurotransmitter. A 400% surge each time you get that beep on your phone is equal to the same thing as snorting a line of cocaine. And we don't even know this. And how many lines of cocaine can you snort in a day? 10, 20? But how many messages do you get? What do you think is happening? Spike, spike, spike. Our brains are becoming like dopamine pumps. And because of all this data that's being fed to us, these alerts that are being fed to us, we are waiting. It's a pleasure principle. And the more we want the pleasure, the more the spike happens, the more addicted we become, obviously, because that's what addiction is all about. Now, this dopamine is also what causes chronic addictions: smoking, drinking, gambling, eating. All these addictions are caused by dopamine surges, and this is what is happening to you through your devices. Now, here's a downfall of constant incremental rewards. Now, constant incremental rewards are all these alerts that we're getting. You message someone, they're messaging you back. That's a reward. We're waiting for it to come back. But when we have so much reward coming to our brain is not wired to be pumped up constantly. There's bound to be something that will go wrong, and something does go wrong. There's a constant hum of anxiety at the back because of these incremental rewards. And then we wonder, why is it that these generations today, the smartphone generations, are so anxious, so stressed? Why do we have so many anxiety disorders? This is why we have so many anxiety disorders. And this is finally what happens. We have a mental burnout because of technology. We feel stressed, we feel agitated, we feel depressed. And till now, you may not have joined the dots directly to technology, but now that you know it, you've got to become a little more mindful about it. Now, there are many other downsides of this as well. Productivity goes down, we feel more lonely, we feel more isolated. Of course, like I said, anxiety goes up, and a lot of depression happens. Our concentration levels go down. Anxiety levels are just up and down all the time. And this is something a lot of you might have experienced. I just want you to be very honest, just with a show of hands. How many times have you, or have you ever rather, gone on to Facebook or social media and felt that somebody else's life is better than yours? Can you show some hands, please? Even once, doesn't matter how many times. Only such few. Okay, not bad then. We're all quite content. But on the whole, what happens is that when we go onto social media, we are looking at what we call people's showreel moments. You're not waking up in the morning with a puffy face and putting a picture up on Facebook. You're putting your best face forward, using the filters. Actually, you're bored and scratching your head. You don't know what to do. But then suddenly you go to the party. Oh, everyone, come, come, come. Ah, pose. Everyone's looking really happy. And the moment the picture's over, they're back to scratching their head, looking bored and thinking, okay, I think I should go home. This party is just so boring, right? So that's what social media depression looks like, because we constantly think somebody else's life is better than ours, is brighter than ours, that ours is more mundane. And we forget that people are only showcasing what they want to, their best moments. And there is FOMO, which is now a word in the Oxford Dictionary, the fear of missing out. Thinking that someone somewhere is doing something which is more exciting, more entertaining, more riveting than what it is that you're doing at that point in time. Online harassment, trolling, bullying, abuse, so much of that happens, especially for women, for celebrities, for children. So that's another downfall. And of course, your relationships get damaged. This is really what I've seen happen to many couples. I don't know if you're one of them, but it's the reality of coupling this, in this day and age. And they also get damaged because, believe it or not, thanks to technology, especially thanks to smartphones and the internet, infidelity rates have gone up so much it works as a lubricant for infidelity. Then we have attention disorders. Obviously, people think that we're a multitasking generation. We are not. There's nothing called multitasking. If your mind is going in so many different directions at the same time, your mind is fragmented. It's not multitasking. It's putting pressure on you. You're not doing anything well. You're just doing many things together. Then there are sleep disorders. Because we sleep later and later, we get sucked into this rabbit hole of the internet or something, or we binge watch and we don't want to stop watching. One more episode. And we have phones with us right till the point we can't keep awake, or our laptop with us. And the blue light those devices emit actually cause a lot of sleep disorders. Plus, we don't always put our devices off. So middle of the night, we'll wake up, pick up the device, see something, an alert, a message, an email, get stressed about it, and then not go back to sleep well again. Now, why is digital addiction so common? It's because it's the most acceptable form of addiction that we actually have. People don't even label it addiction. Like one gentleman here has been so busy on his phone for such a long time that he can't put it down. So it's so common because we can carry a phone anywhere, literally anywhere. And then if we go to a gathering, if we're bored, if we're lonely, if we're feeling socially awkward, we don't know what to do, or we're anxious, or we're stressed or anything, all we have to do is pick up our phone. We're in our own little bubble now, also looking busy to the other people. We don't have to look awkward anymore. So it becomes an adult pacifier for us. Literally, we're just calm again. We don't have to be anxious about what anyone's thinking. It's all good. Life's fine in a smartphone. Now, here are some addiction signs. I want you all to please pay a little bit of attention just for yourself, or even think about people around you who might be getting addicted or already are addicted to technology in this manner. If you are, we're going to go through 9 of these. I want you to think carefully and count in your own minds. If you have more than 4 of these signs, you are gravely in danger of not just being borderline, but being addicted. Now, a lot of people say, I'm dependent, I'm not addicted. Let me tell you the difference. The difference is exactly this. If it interferes with your work or your personal life, your academics, it's an addiction. It's no longer dependence. So that's number 1. Think about if it's interfering in any way in your work, your personal life, or maybe your studies for those of you who might be studying. Okay, now here is something. We feel the need to instantly respond. One beep, and we grab the phone, start messaging. No matter where we are, what we're doing, how ill-mannered it may be, how dangerous it may be. If you're driving, you don't have to pick up your phone. It's fine. There's nothing that can't wait till you get home. So are you one of those people who needs to respond immediately to alerts? You could be addicted. You take your phone everywhere. Like, look at these two guys. You might be one of them. How many of you take your phones to the loo? Only one? Really? Okay, that's it. 3 people take their phones to the loo. That's a really remarkable statistic, because from the people I know, I don't even know 3 people who don't take their phones to the loo. They read on the pot, they do everything there, the phone's lying there while they're showering as well. I don't know if they record videos, but well, the phone's there. Then number 4, you get really, really panicky if your battery is on the blink, if your battery is dying. So much so, you may be carrying backups with you also everywhere. Just in case my battery dies, just in case. Then, this is what family time together looks like. Or not only family time, but just time. Even if you're hanging out with friends, this is what it looks like. If it does, not only you, but your friends, your family, all of them are well on the way to being addicted. Now, life becomes a series of moments rather than moments. That's all we're interested in, is when do I take a picture of this? Oh, that food looks good, but why enjoy eating it? First, let me take a picture of it. Or I'm at a funeral, but wait, there's something interesting happening there. Even if I'm insensitive, why bother? Take a photo, right? So you're not enjoying the moment at all. You're only documenting that moment because for some reason you think sharing it is going to make it more valuable. Number 7, you have your gadgets with you right till the time you sleep, and you have them with you, next to you, while you're sleeping. It's fine if your partner, your child, nobody wants to sleep next to you. As long as your smartphone wants to be your bed partner, you're happy. You keep checking social media. If you don't, you'll collapse. Something will happen to you. We'll have to call the good doctors from Facebook to get you up again. So every time you have a free moment, you don't even realize that you just open and you're just scrolling. Like. What's happening? Like. Number 9 is online compulsions. Now this includes things like virtual relationships, excessive online dating, it could be pornography, it could be gaming, gambling, shopping. All these are online compulsions, and if you engage in even one of those in a constant way, you could be addicted. Now, what do we do? The important part here is that now we've understood what this addiction is. We've understood the physiology of it, the social setting of it, the signs of it. So there is a way forward from here. All of us can do it. There are specialized digital detox retreats, but people get very intimidated about the thought that they'll be separated from their device for so long. Some of them don't think their life will actually carry on because maybe professionally they can't go offline for so long or whatever it may be. So I've just put together a simple DIY detox program for all of you. So if you can just pay some attention, look at what we're talking about here. These are simple things that you could do in your daily life starting today. So first is Audit digital media. Like Sarika was saying, you can use an app. A lot of those are available. Or you can yourself manually decide to log how much time you're spending on different things on social media as well as digitally. And what is it that you're really doing? Is it benefiting you in some way? So try to see if you have a goal and if your digital time is in any way helping you achieve that goal. If it's not, then maybe that's not something you should be doing so much of anyway. Then disable push notifications, because this is a great way to reduce the amount of time that you spend on your phones. It's also a great way to lower those dopamine surges so that every time that alert is coming, your dopamine levels are not spiking up. So put all your notifications off, check your email at intervals. Maybe 1 hour intervals. You don't have to check your email every few minutes or as it pops up. Then we need to segregate our devices. Now what happens here is that now our phones become the begin all and end all of our life because everything's on it. the alarm clock, the camera, the book reader, everything is rolled into that, the music. So you need to start, if you're really serious about doing a digital detox, first of all, get yourself a separate alarm clock so that your phone is not next to you. Don't charge your phone in your bedroom at all. Keep it elsewhere. Get the alarm clock. Get a separate music player. Use that. Get a separate Kindle. Yes, it'll cost you a little more. You might have to carry it around, but the cost is well worth paying in order to preserve your mental health. Then we've got this, which is again a very effective technique of taking shorter breaks. So every day, you can just, maybe if you're used to keeping your phone all the time in your hand, you can start by saying, I'll keep it away for 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is that you're comfortable starting with. But do it multiple times. Start with at least 4 times a day. Device-free zones, again, what Sarika was suggesting here earlier. It's very important in your house to create device-free zones. Ideally, the living room, the dining room, the kitchen should all be device-free zones, and the bedroom. So maybe you can find a small little common area, your bathroom. And device-free dinner. Yes, when we are eating, we cannot be multitasking. We should not be looking at our devices. We should be talking, really talking, not sending each other messages and pictures, but asking each other, what is it that they're feeling? What did they like in the day or not like in the day? Did they even have a nice day? And if they're not being communicative, which a lot of kids these days are not because they're sulking and all of that, give them time. You ask the questions and the answers will soon start coming. Airplane mode is not something we need to use only while flying. If you're going for a walk and you really don't have a music device which is separate from the phone, use it as your music device, but put it on airplane mode. You don't need to get calls while walking. You shouldn't be doing all that. Use it even when you're home, maybe in the evenings after a certain time. It's a useful thing. Device-free activities are very important for you as a family, very important for a person. So these could be anything. It could be board games. It could be some other stuff like walks or trekking. Whatever it is that appeals to you, please do that. Then reconnecting with pen and paper is not only really therapeutic for us, it's also a good way of doing things like making lists without going to our phone all the time. So start using paper. You can use recycled paper. That's effective too. Social media fasting. 1 day in a week, decide to stay off a certain kind of social media. So it could be Twitter free Tuesdays or Facebook free Fridays or whatever works for you. But one social media platform has to be banned from 1 day of the week completely. Then FOMO mantras. If you're sitting at home and you're actually getting FOMO because your friends seem to be doing something more exciting, tell yourself something which reassures you. Something like, I'm doing something that gives me pleasure at this moment, even if it's not a very, very hyper activity. Or tell yourself, those people's show reel moments don't match my real life experience of just relaxing. Even if you're in just your pajamas and chilling out and not doing anything, that is good for you. You don't have to be at that party. You don't have to be at that event. Make your own FOMO mantra and repeat it to yourself constantly. Then take a weekly detox. If you can, if Sundays are off or whichever day is off, try to unplug for the entire day. You can do this by announcing beforehand to people you work with or other members of your family or friends that you're going to be offline. You can put safety nets and measures in place. You can tell people in case of an emergency only, they can reach you in a different way, such as maybe a landline or an emergency number of someone who stays close by. Prepare for temptation. Now, what does this mean? When you're going offline, you are going to be tempted at some point to go and reach for your gadget. Every time that temptation comes, do something else. Take your dog out. Breathe. Sit. Reach out for a book. Do something analog for a change, something which is not digital. Then create moments, not foments. Remember that the brain is wired in such a way that what you experience actually using your senses is something that you enjoy and remember and recall a lot better later on. It stays with you. So if you were to think right now off the cuff, what is the one greatest moment of my life? Surely it's not a moment that you were taking a photograph of. It'll be something that you've experienced. So remember, no formats, only moments. Like I said, try a digital detox app if you really require it. These are very effective tools. Sounds a little counterintuitive, but it's actually useful, because instead of manually trying to keep track, which is difficult, they will block your usage to a period that you define. They will remind you when to schedule a detox, and whatever other plans you've got for your detox can carefully be documented here. Make human connections. When was the last time you actually went and talked to someone? Like, I was roaming about here, and then I was sitting in the lounge and I was doing various activities. I was at the airport, in fact, yesterday, and looking around. Nobody is talking. They're only talking if they're networking or if they know each other. But how about just a chat with the person sitting next to you on the plane? Hi, where are you from? Where are you going? Everyone's heads are down. We've become so immune to ignoring other human beings. Let's start connecting. Let's start making new connections, even if they're fleeting, for 5 minutes. Talk to people is not only good for them, it's good for you. Daydream. Some people say, I find it so boring. What do I do when I don't have my device with me? Daydream. That's how inventions happen. That's how great minds come up with new ideas. You have to let yourself be. Let your brain come down to baseline. After all those charging and the burnout of the dopamine, bring it down to baseline so that it can come up with something new, something useful, something inventive. Finally, if you don't know how to meditate or practice mindfulness, try an app that may help you, or go and just read up on it. It's a simple enough thing to do. Just have to follow your breath. You don't have to do too much, but it's good for your mind, it's good for your body. Learn it if you can. And if you think you're really chronically addicted and these things are not something that can help you, go for a proper digital detox retreat and program. They last for 2 to 6 weeks. They happen with a professional, and they will monitor. They will keep you completely device free, but they will monitor how technology is slowly infused back into your life. So finally, I'm just going to leave you with this thought, that all of us need to now relook at technology and redefine our relationship with it. We need to start living more off the screen rather than having all our experiences on the screen. So I wish you all the best for a renewed relationship with technology, and thank you so much.